Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And the session is called Why Study a Creative Degree in the UK. So today we have Emma here from Leeds Arts University, and my name is Trudy. I'm from University for the Creative Arts. So for this session, what we're going to cover is what are the creative careers and the value of the creative industry in current economy, and also what about the pandemic and the future-proof careers, prepare for the success. And of course, we will introduce you a bit more employment services on campus and some examples and what our graduate students been doing after they study creative degree in the UK. And also we will give you a bit more idea what you can do now to prepare your study journey in the UK. And then of course, we always leave a lot of time for the Q&A session. So what are the creative careers? So as you can see from here, while you're studying like art design courses, like architecture, filmmaking, fine arts, graphic design. So there is a lot of area in here in the screen. As you can see, you can be like advertising director or manager or like fashion designer, architect if you study architecture courses, and also you can becoming like I would say pattern designer. So there is it's a lot of information here. I just picked the one I can see. It's lots of words here. But when you study a creative degree in the UK, so here is a quite a wider range, a wider areas you can progress yourself into in the future. Of course, our students are very creative while they study with us, and they always their opportunity there for the student to identify the new career in the current industry. And here just a little bit more information about each area, like advertising, games, fashion, design, film, craft, music, and also TV, film I mentioned earlier, or publishing, magazine publishing. Or some students maybe can developing, like I knew one of the professor working with our university, he actually studied architecture courses when he choosing the UG course, and but he really interested in graphic design and also lighting design as well. So he completed his architecture, but he cannot drawing, but he using his architecture background to develop himself into something like a graphic design. But he said, I'm terrible drawing, but he's sort of like using all the projects and making actually the lines on the screen using all the technology. So when you study creative degree in the UK, it doesn't matter which field you going to choose, but there is always the I would say the gray areas. All the courses they overlap each other, and then you will have this opportunity to taste different area when you study in the UK for the creative degree. And I think that I'm gonna hand it to Emma. This is my slides, isn't it, Emma? So I'm gonna hand it back to you then. Go back to the slides.
Yeah. So the first question I think is one of the things that should be pointed out with creative degrees and creative jobs is that they cannot be automated. There's a lot of fear, I think, in the world of as AI, as robotics improves, of us being automated, of certain jobs being replaced by automation, by machines, but you can't automate creativity. You can't automate artistic endeavors. There's just some things which can only be done by humans. And I think that's one of the real benefits of going into creative profession, is that it's always going to be so unique, and it's not something that can be taken away from you or automated in any way. So yeah. So the value of the creative industries is... So the value of the creative industries, this is a little bit out of date, it's from 2018, but actually with some of the creative industries, we've actually seen an increase in some of this. So the value of the UK creative industries in 2018 was over 111 billion pounds a year, and that was 12.7 million pounds an hour that the creative industries were creating in 2018. with a over 5 times faster annual growth than the UK average of other types of professions. So the UK creative industries have seen massive growth. There's so many different avenues and routes you can take with a creative degree, and all we've seen is it growing and it making more money, and so people being really successful in those fields. So what about the pandemic? And I think that's something that everyone's been really nervous about. It's been on everyone's minds, but creativity is actually, we consider, especially within the UK, that creativity has been really crucial to recovery, because they are such important professions. And I think one of the things a lot of people noticed with the pandemic was actually a lot of the things that people gravitated towards while they were stuck in lockdown were creative outlets, and were things which were created by creative people and creative professions. A lot of people lent into watching things on Netflix or watching TV shows and stuff, and all of those involve people who have creative backgrounds creating those things, so people actually engaging more with it. And so that's why it's such a key thing for recovery after the pandemic. It's a real key sector to boost growth and employment. And so is there any good news? The answer is yes, if we go to the next slide. So we've actually seen a boost in some of those sectors. So film, TV, games, online publishing, again, all the things that people started to access more when they were stuck in lockdown, we've seen an increase. People have been getting more into those kinds of things. There's more opportunities to work flexibly and remotely. So even though it's been really tough for some people to be stuck at home, it's actually created a more flexible working environment, and it's boosted accessibility and inclusivity for other people to access those kinds of creative professions. So there is some silver lining. Everyone has a passion, and it's really important for you to have a chance to express that that passion in your profession. So some of the skills for the future that you can get from having a creative degree and having a creative background are like critical thinking, problem solving. Again, your creativity, that is a skill. That is a skill which not everyone has, and you can utilize that to give yourself a step up. Digital literacy, entrepreneurism, leadership and social influence, and emotional intelligence. These are all things you can get from studying a creative degree, and things that you will be honed and be encouraged throughout your degree. So 2.1 million jobs in the UK were in the creative industries in 2019. So that is a huge number of potential jobs that you can get into, and they range from anything from fashion design to video games to, there's so many different options for things that you could get into. And 64.2% of those working in the creative industries hold a degree. So some people might think that's quite low, but that is over half of those people. And one of the things that having a creative degree will give you is that additional emotional intelligence, that additional skill with selling yourself and working with other people, that will give you a step up in some industries that other people who are coming into it with no background of a degree might not have those skills. So prepared for success. So turn raw talent into a practical creative career. So share a passion for creative pursuits, become independent, proactive, disciplined and resilient, work in project-based and deadline-driven environments, keep up to date with industry developments. Employers don't just value creativity alone, they need talent in project management and organisational skills too. And that's actually a really important thing that I think a lot of people don't realise, is that even if you do a creative degree and you end up going into maybe a profession which isn't considered a creative profession, a lot of people still really value people with creative degrees because it gives you those skills to think outside the box and think differently. And so I think a lot of employers actually really value that kind of forward thinking, that emotional intelligence, that time management that you get from being in such a project-based and deadline-driven degree, whereas some other degrees don't have that same project-based basis. And analysis suggests this combination is really potent mix for the future in employment. There's a lot of people are valuing that kind of creative outlook a lot more. And also one of the best things is that you get to do what you love. You are doing a degree for 3 years that you absolutely love because you've chosen a specific interest. And then if you get to use that in your future employment, I think a lot of people don't get to do that if they don't do something like a creative degree. And I think it's something that a lot of people really value the opportunity to do. So yeah. So collaboration is hugely important, especially in arts-based degrees. So you get to collaborate with other students, other courses and professional industry. I know at Leeds especially we push that, and I'm sure UCA do as well, where regardless of what course you're in, you might share modules with other courses and you will have a chance to collaborate with other students on different courses. So the photography students might end up collaborating with the fashion design students, or the fashion design students might collaborate with making costumes for filmmaking. There's so many different options. And universities and creative universities especially are a microcosm for the creative industries. They always have connections. Your professional, the people teaching you, your lecturers will be professionals themselves. They will have those links in the creative industry. They can help you make those connections. And you get to learn a lot about teamwork, and that's massively mirrored in all the creative industries. There are very few, I think, creative jobs where you're not working with other people and collaborating. And so building up that ability to work in a team is really important and a really useful skill in whatever profession you choose in the future. You get to build professional networks. You get to do professional placements. We help you find those placements. We help you find internships so that you can continue to develop your skills and be able to potentially walk straight into a job after your degree. And industry comes to the campus. We will have professionals coming to visit you, to talk to you, to do practical demonstrations for you, do work with you. And personally, I did a good degree in photography, and one of my favourite experiences is that we had the photographer John Blakemore come in for a week, and we got to do darkroom work with him, and he helped us with our photos, and it was one of the most amazing experiences. And creative degrees, I don't think you get that in a lot of other types of degrees, where you get that in creative degrees, quite common. So live briefs and networking events are really common, and graduate shows and summer shows are amazing. All creative universities do them. They haven't been able to run as normally because of COVID, but they're really kicking back up again now, and we're able to run them because of the COVID restrictions being reduced. And it's fantastic. Like they're a chance to get your name out there. They're a chance to see other people's works, to make those connections with other people who come see the work. They're really fantastic opportunities. So the graduate route is something which the UK government launched. It is available to graduates from the bachelor's and master's degrees courses, and it allows students to complete their studies within the UK university, to stay and work in the UK for up to 2 years. So you can capitalise on the industry connections that you make. You can, if you want to look at starting your own business, you don't have to instantly go back to your home country. You can start building those connections, start building that business here, and you're allowed to work during that time. There's no restrictions on what you choose to do in those 2 years. So there are so many sample graduate destinations, and a lot of them do have companies and bases in the UK. So Channel 4, for instance, actually does have its main hub in Leeds, for instance. And then you've got things like Superdry, the Olympic Games, famous people with their own clothing lines like Victoria Beckham, who's from the UK. Disney, Pinewood Studios, the BBC obviously is a huge one, which I think most people have heard of. There's so many different options for what you can go into and the different destinations that you can potentially go to. So about some of the different universities, I'll talk about mine first. So Leeds Arts University is the only specialist arts university in the north of England. We are quite a small university, even though we're inner city, but we're really friendly because of that, and we're really supportive. You get a lot more one-to-one time with your lecturers and with industry professionals because we have smaller class sizes. We were #1 for student support in the What Uni Student Choice Awards 2020. We have a really high degree of student satisfaction whenever we've polled our students. We've got some really famous alumni like Damien Hirst, Barbara Hepworth and Henry Moore, and you actually see that when you go to visit galleries and stuff around Leeds. Like we've got the Yorkshire Sculpture Park, for instance, and obviously Barbara Hepworth, an amazing sculptor, and you get to see some of that work, and Damien Hirst's work at the Yorkshire Sculpture Park. It's a really exciting, rapidly growing city with a thriving art scene. It really is. I've lived here now for 2 years. I actually moved up from the other side of the country to Leeds, and I absolutely fell in love with it here. It's so artistic, it's so diverse, and it's a really amazing environment and a really amazing experience to be immersed in that kind of culture. We've got really great facilities at Leeds Arts University. They're award-winning, they're industry standard, they're absolutely fantastic. And there's lots of different options as well for, even if you're doing, for instance, a photography degree, you are absolutely allowed to come and use our ceramics room. You can go use the dark room even if you're not a photography student. There's so many different options. So regardless of what degree you're doing, you can go experiment with other arts-based interests, and you've got that openness and you've got that freedom to experiment. And 92% of our graduates are in work or further study. And actually, one of the things with Leeds Arts University we have found personally is that a lot of our students, a higher proportion than other universities, have gone into having their own businesses. And I think that's partly because we really try to give you that experience, that business experience, give you that knowledge so that you can do it comfortably and confidently. And even with COVID, we've still seen a higher percentage than some other universities going into having their own businesses, even though it can seem quite daunting with a global pandemic. But I do think that is partly because as well, when you're in Leeds, it's such a creative city that there's so many other people that you can collaborate with and work together with to do that. So yeah.
Thank you, Emma. Right, it's my turn. So I'm going to introduce you a bit more about UCA. So UCA actually is located in a surrounded by London area, which is in Surrey. And then in Surrey, we have 2 campuses, which is Epsom campus and Farnham campus. So we have another 2 campus, which is based in Kent, called Rochester and Canterbury campus. So each campus, we're offering different courses or different subject areas, different schools based on each campus. So Epsom campus, we have a business school and a fashion school. So in our fashion students and business students, they work together quite often. Of course, we have film schools. So film students, they work with fashion students quite often as well. And Farnham campus, mainly we deliver like film production courses and acting performance, graphic design, institution, animation, and also fine arts courses, craft courses. And Canterbury, we're delivering mainly focusing on the architecture courses, which is if any student interested in architecture, interior design, landscape, architecture designs will be studied at Canterbury campus. And so our courses are quite, I would say, provides a personalized like education. So we try to give our student individual support when students study with us. So we are not a very big university like UAL or St. Martin's in London, but we are very specialized in some area, like I mentioned, architecture. As you can see here, business school for creative industry ranked UK #7 at the moment. Our architecture school ranked UK #5. So we are specialized also in filmmaking, as you can see on your right-hand top corner there. We have a student who graduated, and he actually directed the Star Wars film Rogue One. And also we have a student who did a graphic design with us, and Malika Fair, and she actually from French, and she at the moment work for New Yorker's Vogue as well, and all the graphic and all the cover pages she designed for New Yorker, that magazine. And also we have a visiting lecture as well. I think from both our institution, we all have visiting lectures quite regularly. That's, I think it will be same for other UK university who are specialized in art design areas as well. And I think we have around 7,000 students on campus at the moment, including coming students and also on-campus students. So our students are quite an international mix. We have over 67% of like international students of total our students on campus. So our students, we have students from China, from East Asia, like Japan, Korea, and also from Hong Kong, from Taiwan. We have students from America, from Canada, and also from other European countries. Of course, we have a lot of students from UK who are based in the UK as well. So while you study with us, so you will building up those international network, international connection. So different cultural background also give you a more creative idea as well. As you can see today on campus, our Farnham campus is snowing actually, but students still carrying the camera around, work together for their projects. So that's something I'm seeing daily, day by day, is really making me feel like, oh, I want to do some creative courses as well, because I studied business course, so that was really boring. Yeah, this is our UCA, and here, sorry, I just can't read the title here. So what you can do now to prepare yourself to study a creative degree in the UK. So I would say be more creative and get everything ready. If you are interested in art design courses, try to get in all the works, all the project you've been doing, put them together, and then try to make your application as soon as possible or as early as you can. Because if you are from internationally and if you need a study visa, student visa in the UK, so you need to give yourself a bit more time to prepare everything for the visa process and also for all the admission process. It's really depending on which creative course you are interested in. If you are interested in a business course for creative industry, and obviously you don't need to submit any portfolio, as far as I knew. Most UK university, if you apply for the course for like fashion business management or fashion branding, I don't think you will need a portfolio. But if you study like fashion design or filmmaking, you will need to make a portfolio and submit it to the different to the university. So it's really depending on each university's requirement as well, the guideline for the portfolio. Some university may ask slightly different than other university. So your work just you need to be tailoring or maybe personalized for each university in the end. But it will be good if you can get in all your work, all your pieces work together. That would be great. In terms of more about the portfolio, for us, and I believe for this art university, we can accept the different kind of formats of your portfolio. Can be link, can be presentation style, can be video. It's depending on which course you are applying. If you are applying for art performancing, you may need to submit the audition as well. But if you studying like film or TV production, you will be asking for submitting a short video or script or clip. It's depending on which course you are interested in. And do more research as well, and try not to look at the overall ranking when you are making application, when you decide which course you want to go, which university you want to study. If you want to study a creative art courses or design other courses, you need to looking at the actual course and also looking at the studio workplace and also the industry link. There will be a quite a large university in the UK offering different faculty, but when you come across like art design courses, they are very specialized university available in the UK as well as UCA and this art university. We are not a massive university, have different faculty like business, law or finance, but if you only want to study art design course, I would say try to looking at the course, try to looking at the tutor background as well, and go onto the website to do more research about the portfolio. And I believe all the creative arts university have all the student work available over there, and you can gain some ideas from current students or graduate students what they have done during the study, and you can have some idea, put your work together as well. I think that's everything. Emma, do you want to add anything on top of that, for student needs to be prepared for now?
Yeah, so just to talk a little bit about the portfolio for us as well, you're right. We're very we're very uh we don't mind how you choose to submit your portfolio. So we have genuinely had people submit their Instagram pages that they've curated to be a portfolio. We've had people make their own websites. We have had people just submit PDF documents. Obviously, as Trudy said, with the filmmaking, we like to see some of the films you've actually made. And with our music courses, there is an expectation of kind of a what's it called, the of a performance, your own kind of performance and things like that, and there's an expectation of that. But otherwise, we're with the fine art and with the illustration degrees, for instance, there's a lot of leeway on how you choose to present yourself. Also, for international students, we don't have a restriction on how much you can put in your portfolio, but we would just say put your best foot forward, try and choose your best pieces. Don't just overwhelm it with just literally every tiny little thing you've done. But if you do want to put some stuff in there talking about your thought process, your critical thinking, your reflective ability, showing that off, that's really good as well.
Yeah, thank you, Emma. On top of the portfolio, what Emma just saying, I think you can also show the project you starting and you cannot finish, and also the project you finished. I think that will be really good because that will showing your potential and your ability and your skills well. For the portfolio, of course, we're looking at your creative idea, but it can be showing your time management and then your management skills. That's really, really important. If you're showing something you cannot finish, and then we're saying in the project you are actually finished. So that's really good programming, which is for us to give, I think for us, we have a more understanding about your actually like a more personal touch, I would say. And also the portfolio is more like storytelling. It's all about yourself and then what skills you have and what software, what sort of a computer skills you can put in there, like 2D or 3D, whatever you can gather in there, put in there. But like Emma said, select the best work you can submit it to us. That's really, really important.
Yeah.
Right, this is some useful link for you, and then probably you can note it down or quickly take a screenshot as well. There is a like job available links here for you, which is have quite some more creative industry available, we can say. And then here is like a film, media, visual arts, designs, graphic design. I knew some of the graphic design. There is a sort of like portfolio website, I think platform you can actually uploading over there, which is quite good as well. And I think that's the one list there for graphic design, but there is a lot of other platform you can use to actually to building up your portfolio. And then you can also have a look other person who uploading their portfolio over there. You can do a search or something that they will be showing you for different area. That's really useful. And also you can contact us, go on to our website. So here is our website at the very bottom below our contact email address. So I believe our both of our website, there will be showing students' work and a useful link for you as well. Just make sure you do enough research, not just our university, also go to other universities to do more research to compare, and then you will have a more idea about what can you do for now to prepare yourself to study a creative degree in the UK. Okay. I think that's everything for now. We are welcoming questions. I think we have plenty time for question. So please feel free, don't free ask question as well. So if you don't understanding anything, including like admission process, always contact university admissions, or there's always student support over there on the website. There always chat box. Just click there, ask questions if you don't understand anything, because I'm pretty sure like you as a student probably education system is slightly different as the UK. So you may have a lot of questions, and also you may have a 4 years bachelor degree, where here we only have 3 years. So there is a lot of difference. If you don't understand anything, please don't afraid to ask a question as well. Just make sure you fully understand everything before you come to study or before you're making applications. You don't want to put yourself in a difficult position, oh, shall I go or not? Just, you know, more struggling making decisions. So ask questions. If you don't understand anything, please do ask questions. And also all the information is also available on the website as well.
Yeah, and obviously if there's any questions that you think of later, please don't hesitate to contact either of us. Our details there so that we can answer. And if there's any questions that you ask now that we're not too sure on the answer on, if you contact us and send us that question, we can answer it later as well. So
yeah, sure, we'll wait for a few minutes for the question. Things take a bit time. Okay. All right, shall I go back to the useful link? Probably they want to write down links here. Okay. And then I think also just want to share a bit, because this is my last session. I just try to talk a bit more, share a bit more experience with you guys. Just thinking, do the subject course you are really interested in, just, you know, follow your heart. Of course, always have advice as well from friends, from family, but do follow your heart, do whatever you are really interested in. Because using myself as example, I studied business management. I think I mentioned earlier. I found really boring, but I do quite interesting at interior design as well. But for me, I think it's a little bit too late because I already work in different sector. But there is something really I'm really interested in. I'm reading magazine, everything, quite oftenly to looking at the area I'm interested in. But I wish I can go back to time to study the subject I really interested in. Probably I will work somewhere differently. But at the moment, I'm working for the Creative Arts University, which is for me, it's quite exciting to see the students doing a lot of projects works on campus. I believe same as Leeds Arts University as well. There's a lot of students work showing on the campus, and then students doing a lot of activities, not just doing their project, they hang out together and then enjoying the sunshine when the suns came out. So yeah, it's really really nice. I mean, the environment probably is a bit different compared with US or Canada or other countries well when you study in the UK, but the culture here is quite diverse, and you will building up amazing relationship with your classmates or the friends you meet when you study here. No more questions? Still waiting for the questions. No. All right, we'll wait another maybe 1 or 2 minutes wait for your question. If there is no question, probably we can end the session. Just wait for a bit long time. Okay. Go back to our contact page. Please do contact us if you have any further questions. Even though you don't have a question now, like Emma mentioned earlier, do feel free to contact us, and or go to our website to look more information there. Okay, no questions. Oh, there we go. Here's questions. Is there any particular area that we should take care when looking at tuition fee? I would say for international students, I would say you can looking at the requirements. What's the requirements? I mean, oh, sorry, for the tuition fee, I was thinking about scholarship, but yeah, of course, you can looking at scholarship option as well. Also, if you do think you want financial support, of course, you can looking at the financial support. So the fees always listed on the website. It says full fees for international students, but there's also available option for the scholarship as well. So when you're looking at the scholarship, try to looking at the condition as well. So what sort of requirement to apply for the scholarship. So you can compare different sort of scholarship, like UCA, we do have quite a lot of different kind of scholarship. So it's really depending which course or which subject you are interested in. So you can looking at different scholarship. And then, yeah, and for the tuition fee, probably you can looking at if there's early bird, like early bird scholarship for your tuition fee as well. So yeah, I think that's so far from UCA. What about Leeds Art University, Emma?
So yeah, so we do have some scholarship options which are open to specifically international students, some that are specifically open to postgraduate students. There's a number of options. The one thing we will say is that if you want to access our scholarships, you do need to hold an offer with us. So you would need to make an application first before applying for the scholarship. Well, before being eligible for the scholarship. You can apply beforehand, but it won't be eligible until you've made an application. But yeah, I think it's just really important, especially because it is a really big choice choosing to go to university. And I think it's really important, take the time, look at the fees for each university, make sure that you it's not going to be too much of a horrific stress on you and things like that, and look at your own rules, like will you need to work while you're in the UK, like will you need to get a part-time job and things like that, and will that work with your studies? And so we understand that it's a really difficult choice to choose to pay so much money to go to university and stuff, but so just make sure you do that research. And if you do have any questions about that kind of stuff, we've got our international offices at the university that you can contact, and we can help you with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think also looking at the financial side, and each university offering financial support as well. So if you think I want to pay by installments, of course you can. Nowadays, if we buy furniture, we can still pay installments. So just looking at different options to see based on your actually your personal situation as well when you choosing course or looking at the fees as well. But I believe most university we are offering a scholarship for the international students. So another question, following up the question, are there any scholarship for disabled students that international student can apply to? At the moment, our scholarship, using UCA as example, so I can hand it back to Emma so you can talk a bit more about scholarship. So for us, we don't have a name especially for disabled students, but we do provide support to students who have who are actually disabled. So we provide all the supports on campus. But for the scholarship, it's not really category for disabled or for actual not stable students, but everybody can apply for the scholarship. It's based on the portfolio, and also if the student apply for the business courses, that will be based on their academic background. But if student apply for art design courses, it will be more focusing on the portfolio, actually focusing on work, because we try to be fair to everybody. So we don't, just based on we counting, okay, maybe that student from different country, we can give it more scholarship. And it's not work like that, but we try to fair to everybody based on students' work, based on their academic background. We provide scholarship to international students. That's the UCA side. What about Leeds Art University?
Yeah, so we don't have a specific scholarship specifically for disabled students, but very similar to Trudy, we do offer a lot of support for disabled students when they are at the university, not necessarily the financial side, but any additional support you might need. And our scholarships are open to everyone, and we make a fair assessment on everyone. There's no case of if there's 20 people who've applied from Hong Kong, it's not a case of, oh, well, we're only going to definitely accept one person from Hong Kong and nobody else gets a chance. So it's all, each application is looked at individually, and there's a chance on our scholarship applications to talk a little bit about yourself, how you think the scholarship will help you specifically. And so all of that is taken into account.
Thank you, Emma. Another question is, are the previous Zoom session available to watch anywhere? Yes, it will be available. So probably we will be sending out the recorded session. I think today is our last day for all the sessions. Once everything we ended, and then probably Friday we're getting all the informations, because we set up the Zoom through different, I would say, colleagues here. So we will need to getting all the recorded link, and then we will be shared with you guys probably I would say Friday earliest or a Monday. That's something we're looking at. And then I think it will be available to watching somewhere on the platform, maybe YouTube or somewhere, but you will receive all the information. You will be able to rewatch everything for the previous session. Any other questions? No. No more questions. And I forgot to mention earlier, and then when you try to research university, there is also online sessions for each university as well. So you can actually attend an online session to have a more understanding about the course you are interested in, or architecture, animation, fine arts, fashion design, business for creative industry. There is also a lot available events and also open days as well. I believe Emma mentioned as well. So just try to, if you're in the UK, do attend open days. That's really, really helpful. And then you can actually see the campus, see the environment, see the cities, see the towns, or have a look at the environment. If that you really, really like the environment, that's the first step. If you don't like the environment, you try to force yourself to study somewhere which is you're not enjoying in the end, which is, I don't think that will work out really well. And also have a look at the accommodation as well, and try to book accommodation, because the UK is not open up. But I knew probably from China, I don't think it is Chinese student here, it's quite late at the moment. But yeah, that will be for accommodation, to try to book as early as you can, make sure you have a room when you arrive in the UK. Apart from that, I don't think I have anything to add. What about you, Emma?
No, I don't think there's anything to add there. I think that's very comprehensive.
Okay. Great, then, well, I don't see any other question coming, so shall we end the session then?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, all right then. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for your time joining us, and hopefully we can see you one day on campus from any of our institutions. We will be very, very grateful to see you. But thank you so much, Emma, for participating in this session, and it was lovely to see you today as well. Thank you.
Yeah, it was really nice to be able to talk to all of you. I hope some of you make applications and see you on campus.
Yes, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Cool.